as I understand it, it's a point in time where the rate of advance of science and technology gets so fast, the human mind perceives it as infinite. Right now, already, we get new computers and new mobile phones faster than I can figure out how to use them. I don't know everything my phone can do now, and I'm not going to figure it out by the time I get the next one. But imagine if a new technology with amazing new implications came about every 5 seconds or so. That's a singularity. But the singularity is not just a matter of technology. It's better, perhaps, to think of the singularity in terms of human experience. Right now, due to the way our brains are built, we have a few states of consciousness that follow us around every day. There's the ordinary waking state of consciousness. There's various kinds of sleep. There's a flow state of consciousness that we get into when we're really into the work we're doing, or playing music and we're really into it. There's various enlightened states you can get into by meditating a really long time. The spectrum of states of consciousness that human beings can enter into, it's a tiny little fragment of all the possible ways of experience. When the singularity comes, it's going to bring us a wild variety of states of consciousness, a wild variety of ways of thinking and feeling and experiencing the world that we can't even imagine now. The singularity will be enabled by technology, but fundamentally it's not just about technology. It's about how you feel in your own mind. It's about how you feel in your body. It's about how you relate to the world and to other people. It's going to be a radical change in what it feels like to be a person, to be a mind. Why do I believe a singularity is coming? The singularity has been coming for quite a long time. Not that long ago, our ancestors were running around in the African savannah, living not that differently from other animals. Then we developed language, we developed tools, we developed machinery, we developed mathematics, we developed science. This has been a very rapid rise for humanity, from our beginnings in the African savannah to where we are today. The singularity is just the next small step, adding on to all the amazing things humanity has already achieved. As Ray Kurzweil has pointed out, for the last few decades, we've been seeing exponential advancement in a number of technologies that are directly relevant to the singularity. The exponential advance of computer hardware is obvious to everyone. The supercomputers of decades ago are vastly less powerful than my cell phone, let alone the server farms I use for AI development. The exponential advance of brain scanning has been equally amazing. Now we can track which parts of the brain are active when we have a certain kind of thought. We can look at the activity in a human brain when a person looks at a picture, and we can reconstruct that picture from what's happening inside their brains. Nothing remotely like that was possible a few decades ago. We now have quantum computers, simple hardware devices that use the weird quantum uncertainty voodoo of the microworld to carry out computing fundamentally faster than regular computers could do. We now have humanoid robots like the Now and the Hanson Robo kind. Little guys 3 feet tall you can buy for 15,000 US that walk around your lab and talk to you. This was unimaginable a decade ago, let alone 50 years ago. We're seeing exponentially fast advancement in a variety of different technologies. Genetics, all of a sudden, is an information science. When I studied biology in high school, it was pretty boring. Genetics has become an information science. In the last decade and a half, we've sequenced the human genome. We've sequenced the genomes of fruit flies, mice, and all manner of different organisms. We can apply AI technology to the genomes of all these animals. We can connect genomics with systems biology simulations, computer simulations of the complex systems inside a human's or an animal's body. Using the combination of advanced biotechnology with AI, we can begin to understand the complex mechanisms that make us live and breathe and that make us get old and die. So there's a host of intersecting technologies which are advancing exponentially for the last few decades, building on the much longer term exponential advance that brought us out of the African savanna to where we are today. Given all this, it's not hard to see why Ray Kurzweil projects a singularity sometime in the middle of this century, and I tend to agree. We don't need every technology to advance exponentially to have a singularity. This sweatshirt I'm wearing, it's not all that different from the sweater my grandfather wore. The chopsticks I'll eat dinner with tonight, they're pretty much the same as the chopsticks that were used in China 5,000 years ago. We don't need every technology to advance exponentially to get to a singularity. We need a few key technologies. Specifically, we need those technologies that form the underpinnings of artificial general intelligence, because that's really the crux of the singularity. Once you have a mind that's fundamentally smarter than the human mind, twice as smart as a human, 3 times, 5 times as smart as a human, at that point we're into a different domain of reality. We're into a different phase of history. These superhuman minds are going to go as far beyond human beings as human beings have gone beyond chimpanzees, lemurs, and our other precursors. AGI, artificial general intelligence, refers to an engineered system, a machine or a computer program, that can learn, reason, understand, generalize with the same breadth of scope as a human mind, and ultimately far beyond what the human mind can do. Most of the AI programs written so far are what we'd call narrow AI. They may be very, very smart, but they're smart in a very particular domain. You have a program like Deep Blue that plays chess better than any human being, but it only plays chess. It can't play checkers. It can't play Go. It can't even play Fisher random chess or any of the other variations of the standard chess rules. The US military has some fabulously complicated AI planning and scheduling systems that work out all the logistics of complex military operations. But if you take these planning and scheduling systems and try to get them to organize a conference or run a government, they can't do that. They're tuned specifically for military logistics. In my own bioinformatics company, BioMind, we've used narrow AI to analyze genomics data. And we've discovered some really important things about Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease, and longevity. But these narrow AI bioinformatics systems require a human expert to operate them. And if you feed them a new kind of data they've never seen before, they require a human to pre-process the data, to put it in the right form they can understand. Narrow AI systems can be incredibly useful technology, but they're not autonomous systems. They're not autonomous, self-understanding agents that confront the world on their own terms, understand their own relation to the world, and figure out how to achieve their own goals in the context of an uncertain, ever-shifting, ever-evolving environment. People aren't that good at any one particular thing. What we are good at doing is figuring out what to do in uncertain situations. This is the crux of what makes AGI different than narrow AI. Humans aren't absolutely general intelligences. We are limited in some ways. Something like a third of the brain is devoted to vision processing. Obviously, we're not much good at doing mathematics. We struggle with algebraic calculations that a software program like Mathematica or MATLAB could do effortlessly and instantaneously. We're not equally good at everything, and there are some things that are just so complex, a human brain couldn't possibly grapple with them within a human lifetime. But even so, we do possess a capability to generalize, to transfer knowledge from one domain to another that current AI programs don't have. Some AI theorists, like Markus Hütter and Jürgen Schmidhuber, have theorized about infinitely general intelligence, an AI system that could solve any possible problem. This is really interesting mathematics. But when you come down to it, an infinitely general intelligence is only possible with infinitely much computer processing power, and that's not the situation we have in the real world. The human mind is an adaptation to the fixed computing resources of the human brain. Any AGI system we build is going to be an adaptation to the fixed amount of computing resources that it has. So we're not going to build a completely general AGI system that can solve all possible problems immediately. But we can build something with the same and ultimately greater generalization capability than the human mind. And once we have that, it's literally impossible for human beings to figure out what comes next. There's a certain fundamental irreducible uncertainty to the singularity. Just as a cockroach or a dog can't predict what product Apple is going to release next year, or what molecular nanotechnology is going to enable, or even what's going to happen next in a soap opera. Similarly, the human mind is going to be fundamentally unable to predict what happens in a world dominated by superhuman general intelligences. This doesn't mean a Terminator scenario is inevitable. It does mean we're not going to have a predictable, cut and dried future where we can see what's coming every step of the way.
Thank you for watching, and the original video is linked in the description, as well as the playlist with the same content and topic. My name is Ahmed Mustafa Ahad, and I am your humble host at AA Creation 911.